Yo, what is up, everybody? This is K-Rail reporting live from my living room in Park City, Utah. I am indoors. I was outdoors the other day. I hope that you're having one of the greatest Wednesdays of your life. It is the middle of the week. I am shocked at how fast time flies. It is daylight savings time, and ever since daylight savings time kicked in the other day, my energy levels have been soaring. Now, it could be because of the biohacking that I do. It could be because I'm following a vegan diet. It could be because of my fasting protocol, or it could be a blend of everything combined together. But I have to admit, I don't know if it's the fact that the moon is getting more full or daylight savings time occurred the other day, but my energy is through the roof. And I'm going to try to keep it down just a notch because I tend to get a little excited when I get on camera or when I'm talking about something I feel passionate about. So today I want to address a few things. Abundance is one of them. Sugar and sugar alternatives and artificial sweeteners is another one. And I also want to talk about reading books and magazines while you are working out. So I have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. But you know how it works. First, we have to do a movement break. Hey, Nacho, how's it going? And it is in the middle of the afternoon here in Park City. It is a gorgeous day, actually. It's probably about 62 degrees. Last Tuesday, by the way, it was 14 degrees below zero. Was it 14? 7 degrees below zero. Sorry, I doubled it. 7 below zero. That is criminal. It should not be that cold this time of year. October? Come on, seriously. It was October last week, 7 below zero. Last winter, the coldest day we had the entire winter was 10 below zero, and it was in January. Just to give you a perspective. Anyway, it's nice out right now, and I'm going to have to try to fit a walk in before my next training session down at Silver Mountain Sports Club at 3 o'clock. But before I do that, we're going to do a movement break together right now. We're going to do a crossbody pattern, and it's going to involve similar elements to yoga, and it's going to help your brain function as well as loosen up your shoulders and your chest and the rest of your body too. So I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. I'm going to step back there, and hopefully I can get my long frame in frame, but we will see. I'm going to have to lower this just a little bit, so bear with me. Okay. Please pardon my ridiculous faces. And yes, I am wearing my gorgeous, sexy Silver Mountain Sports Club name tag right now because it's easier to just keep it on all day than taking it on and off. That's why. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stand with our feet a little wider and shoulder width apart. So you form a V with your legs. And we're going to move our arms out like this. Now, the first part is simple. It's a windmill. So what we're going to do is reach our hand down to our toe like this and lift this arm up above us. Then we're going to come up and we're going to go to the other side. Now, watch this fancy magic trick. We're going to bend this knee. And then we're going to place our hand right on the ground. We're going to go right into a T-stand here. Then we're going to come up, and then we're going to switch it. Bend this knee, put this hand down, T-stand here. Hold it for about 2 seconds. And then we're going to come right back up and repeat the whole series. So, if you want to follow along with me, please do so. Here we go. Windmill first. Touch your toe, come up. Touch your toe, come up. Now, bend this knee, hand on the ground, T-stand. Come up, bend, T-stand. That's it. Give that a spin, people. My inner thighs are already feeling more stretched out, and my shoulders feel good too. I see a bunch of text messages coming in. Seems to always happen as soon as I start a live for some reason. Anyway, give about 5 of those a spin in the middle of the afternoon if you're in need of a movement break, and your brain is going to thank you, and your whole entire body will thank you as well. Now, let's talk about abundance. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of abundance? Most people think of the almighty dollar, the big green fat back, and they like to have a fat wallet full of money. Okay, that's cool, that's true. Abundance does mean financial security and money. However, that is 1/1,000,000th of what abundance really is. And I want you to reposition your mind on this for a split second. Abundance is an all-encompassing thing. You can have abundance in relationships. You can have abundance with your vehicles, never breaking down, which I never had until I got a new vehicle a few years ago and I wised up. You can have abundance with weather, for example. If you live in a town like I do, we have an abundant amount of sunshine in the summer, and it's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful here. And in the winter, we have an abundant amount of snow. And I love all of it. And I never take it for granted. I look at it and say, I have abundance in these two categories. I have abundance with relationships. I have people who care about me. I have people who I can always talk to if I'm in a position where I need help or I'm in a jam. That is abundance. So I want you to think outside the box when it comes to abundance. Just realize that we are all abundant if we put positive chi and positive energy out there. And whatever you want to have in return, you've got to put it out there to the universe as well. So always think of abundance as an all-encompassing thing, not just becoming financially wealthy or anything like that. Sorry, I was interrupted by a phone call. I have no idea how because I always put my phone on Do Not Disturb when I'm trying to do a live. But someone just disturbed me, and then they disturbed you as well. Okay, anyway, change your position on abundance. You have it. You have the ability to tap into it. Put some positive chi out in the universe, you'll get it back in return 10 times, tenfold. That's how it works. If you put negative ions out there, you're going to get negative things 10 times in return. We don't want the negative. Save that for the negative hate mongers. You can be positive. You are beautiful. So put it out there, positive. Put it out and get it back in return. Okay, let's talk about sugar alternatives. I gotta get a sip of water first. Throat's a little dry. So I read an article in the Ace Fitness Journal the other day about artificial sweeteners. And they mistakenly kept lumping stevia in the ballpark of artificial sweeteners. It was a question on the test. I found that bizarre. Folks, I am not opposed to sugar at all. Matter of fact, I've got the biggest sweet tooth on the face of the earth. I used to love when my mom would make chocolate chip cookies when I'd come home from school, and I'd run inside and I could smell them as soon as I got off the bus. I knew they were there. And I would just sit there and mash about 15 of them in a row down, and then I'd go out and play football for a couple hours, get a stomach ache, almost throw up, come back to, then come in and eat dinner. So, massive sweet tooth, half Italian. My mom was pure-blooded Italian, and that's where I inherited my sweet tooth from. That being said, I do know the dangers of sugar. I do know how it can cause all kinds of inflammation and problems with the body. However, if you're following a time-restricted eating window like I do, you can get away with a little bit more things than the average person who eats 6 meals a day or 8 meals a day or starts eating at 6 a.m. at night and stops eating at 12 o'clock at night. When I do eat sweets or sugar, I try to always go with the cleanest, healthiest versions of said sweets and sugar that I possibly can. So, date coconut rolls are one of my major hookups. I love those things. I get them at Whole Foods in the bulk bins, eat them all the time. Apricots are amazing, dried apricots. And if I'm going to use a sugar alternative, someone actually asked me about this the other day. They sent me a PM about it. If I'm going to use a sugar alternative, it's got to be stevia, or it's got to be coconut sugar, coconut nectar, or monk fruit. Those are some of my top sweeteners right there. None of those are artificial. Artificial is what you want to stay away from. You want to stay away from the aspartame potassium, the aspartame, the sucralose, the stuff you can't pronounce, the BHTs, and the artificial colors and the artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are not good for you. They are, well, anything that says the word artificial in it, I mean, just do the math. Why would you want to put something in your body that's artificial? They're handcrafted in a laboratory somewhere, and shenanigans are involved when it comes to production of those things, and I would stay away from them. I would steer clear. That's my 2 cents. If you're going to have a sweetener, you want to make sure to use something that your body's going to understand and recognize as a real thing, as a real food, as a whole food at one point. So to prove that stevia is fine in my book, I had an organic garden years ago back in Pennsylvania before I moved out to Utah with a couple friends of mine. And we literally had stevia plants in our garden. They were amazing. They were wonderful. You can pluck the leaves off and eat the leaves right out of the garden, organic. I would get some leaves and I would chop them up and I'd throw them in my salads and add this really interesting flair. I consider it something similar to like adding cranberries or raisins or like chopped up apples to a salad. You know how you have like that saltiness from like maybe, I don't know, you have roasted nuts or something like that in your salad. You want a little sweetness in there? Some people throw in cranberries. I was just chopping up stevia leaves and throwing them in there. And I have reason to believe they were very alkaline too in their truest, most natural whole form. So that really livened up my salads and it was just a very interesting substrate to put into them. And ever since then, I'm like, I've always been on board with stevia. And some people are like, oh, it tastes too artificial, and it tastes this and it tastes that. I'm like, well, it is stronger than actual sugar, that is true. So you just got to learn how to regulate it and just put enough in there to give your, whatever it is that you want. If it's coffee or tea or whatever you're sweetening, just put enough sweetener in there to make it sweet enough. And don't overdo it. I mean, excess is never a good thing. Even if you're eating kale salad, you don't want to eat too much kale salad. If you're eating a bowl of oatmeal and you want to add sweetener to it, yeah, use some stevia, but don't use like 3 honking tablespoons of it. And the same thing goes with coffee, and the same thing goes with tea, and the same thing goes with whatever you're sweetening. So I suggest using a good clean sweetener. Stevia is totally okay in my book. Try to find a company that's like not owned by Coke or Pepsi, wink wink. And monk fruit is totally okay in my book. And I like coconut sugar and I like coconut nectar. And then all the rest of the sweeteners out there, I would steer clear from. All the fake ones, all the artificial ones, stay away from them. That's my 2 cents. And I'm just being honest with you. What's up, Jess? If you have any other questions or comments about sugars or sweeteners, let me know. And I'm curious to know what all of y'all use too. And as far as fruit goes, I love fruit. I eat tons of it. But again, remember, I don't eat all day long. I don't eat in a 16-hour gap. I'm totally opposite. I eat in a 7 to 8 hour window. My first meal is modest. My second meal is my larger meal. And that's kind of when I pack in all the nutrients and all the calories. So I might have a banana and some berries and date coconut rolls all together in one meal. So that's kind of how I do it and how I roll. I'm not afraid of fruit though. So just be aware that different things that are sweetened, especially if they're Mother Nature and God put them on this earth, they're going to affect your body differently than something that's artificial or fake or, it's not that complicated to figure out what's good and bad and ugly when it comes to the food sources. Now, I always tell you people, get a minimum of 5 hugs a day. However, I just upped the ante. I met with a mental health practitioner yesterday at a networking event I was at here in Park City. And she was claiming you should aim for 8 hugs a day for a minimum of 8 seconds each. You talk about going, that can knock out 2 of my rules right there in one fell swoop. So 8 hugs a day for 8 seconds each. And believe you me, I'm sure that's going to push you past your comfort zone. So then you got the comfort zone to take care of right there. So you got 2 things done. You got your hugs and you got your comfort zone. Boom. So I'm going to ask you now to try to acquire 8 hugs a day for 8 seconds each. That's a tough one, man. Especially if it's awkward in a public place. I'm just being honest with you. So anyway, go out there and get your hugs today. And make sure to hug the earth. That counts too. So if you lay on the ground, I don't care if there's snow or leaves or slush or slop or anything underneath you. Lay on the ground with your arms and legs out like this and your head down. And you can even close your eyes if you want. And hug the earth for 8 seconds. That counts as a hug. The earth has vibration. It's got energy just like a human being. All we are particles of energy. All of us. And the leaves and the trees and the bushes and the rocks out there that I'm looking at. And the, what's that other stuff called? Mulch. The mulch out there. It's all just particles of energy. It all counts. And if you walk across the grass barefoot, you're going to get grounding too. You know what I feel about grounding and barefoot fitness. That's my jam all day long. Okay, what else? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Always think in the present moment. The present moment is all that ever matters and ever counts. Because when you're worried about the future and when you're dwelling in the past, guess what? You're in the present. I know, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it's the truth. Think about this very moment right here, right now. Some of you might be watching me live and some of you might be watching the replay. I'm not sure. Some of you might think I'm some crazy lunatic and you don't watch me at all. And that's totally fine. I still love you because you're still beautiful and you count. Believe it or not, you do. Yes, everyone in this world has something to offer. Everybody, even your most mortal, hated enemies, has something to offer. I'm not sure what it is, but it's out there and you just got to dig deep to find it. Just like Napoleon Hill once said, every adversity has a seed of equivalent benefit. Okay, time for me to roll because I have to work on an email campaign for somebody. 8 hugs a day, 8 seconds apiece. Always live in the present moment. Do at least one good deed every single day, at least one. Always go beyond your comfort zone at least once every single day. And here's the finale. Remember, always pick up at least one piece of trash every single day of the week. It's not that complicated. That's probably the easiest one of them all because people love to litter and there's plenty of trash on this earth. Pick it up and be part of the solution instead of the problem. Okay, I'm out of wind. It's time for me to roll. Everyone have a great day. If you want to do some training, hit me up. If you want to do some coaching, hit me up. If you have any more questions about sugar alternatives or abundance or biohacking or anything in general pertaining to health or wellness or music or you just want to chat, then hit me up on PM as well. Until next time, this is K-Rail reporting live from Park City, Utah, and I am checking out.